White cop falsely accuses black student in library. She turned out to be a Harvard law prodigy. Get your hands off my laptop. That was the first thing she said, her voice calm, cold, and deliberate as Officer Brantley reached over her shoulder to grab her backpack without a word. The library went silent. Even the hum of fluorescent lights seemed to pause. It was 7:23 p.m. on a rainy Tuesday in Cambridge. Inside Widener Library, the law reading room glowed gold under vintage lamps, and the soft rustle of pages usually overpowered all other sounds. But now, every student's eyes lifted from their casebooks and zeroed in on a scene that didn't belong in Harvard's hallowed academic sanctuary. Officer Kenneth Brantley, Cambridge PD, stood 6'3" in full uniform. White, mid-40s, wide jaw, eyes that scanned with the authority of someone used to never being questioned. And across from him sat her, Maya Ellis, 19, black, Harvard Law's youngest student in a century. Wearing a gray hoodie with JSTOR and Chill across the front, earbuds still dangling from her collar. A thick constitutional law textbook open on her desk, highlighted and annotated like scripture. "Ma'am," Brantley barked, "you've been reported for trespassing." There it was. The lie. Maya's jaw barely moved. "This is my assigned study, Carell. Section 3B. You can check with the dean's office." He didn't flinch. "ID now." She reached slowly into her backpack, deliberate, cautious, rehearsed like every black kid had been taught, and handed over her crimson Harvard Idaho. He barely glanced. This could be fake. Someone laughed. Nervous, shrill, wrong. A student, blonde, sitting 2 tables away. No one said a word to her. "You're making a mistake," Maya said, her voice still eerily calm. "You're making it very public, and it's going to be very permanent." But Brantley was already on the radio. "Yeah, she's resisting." Resisting. Within 2 minutes, 2 more officers entered the reading room. By now, every phone in the room was out recording. A black student being confronted by police for reading constitutional law. One officer reached for her wrist. Maya didn't flinch. She whispered, "Check the database." Maya Ellis, admitted 2024, full scholarship, Supreme Court intern shortlist. The officer hesitated. Brantley didn't. He pulled Maya to her feet. A gasp swept the room like wind through dry leaves. And then came the voice. From the back. Deep, sharp, measured. "Officer, that young woman is one of the top legal minds in this country. If you arrest her, you're going to end up as a footnote in her biography." Dean Carlisle had entered the room. Distinguished, gray-suited, Harvard's Dean of Law. Brantley froze. Carlisle walked slowly toward them, his eyes locked on Brantley like a lion walking toward a hyena. "You just laid hands on a law prodigy in a library filled with witnesses and surveillance. Let go of her. Now." Brantley's hand dropped. Maya stood tall, adjusting her hoodie with quiet dignity. "I need your badge number," Carlisle said. No one spoke for several long seconds. Then Maya stepped forward. "I'll be needing it too. For my civil suit." The officers left. The room remained silent. 3 weeks later, the video hit 2.4 million views. CNN aired the footage. MSNBC followed. Justice for Maya trended for 4 straight days. The footage was clear. Maya never resisted, never raised her voice, never showed a trace of aggression. Brantley was placed on administrative leave. But for Maya, it was never just about him. She had learned early, watching her father get stopped for driving a Lexus in the wrong zip code, that racism wasn't always loud. Sometimes it whispered through library walls and wore a badge. Harvard offered a formal apology. So did the mayor of Cambridge. But Maya didn't care for public statements. She cared for law, for precedent, for building a case so airtight it could suffocate a system built on suspicion and double standards. Her lawsuit was methodical. She filed under Section 1983 civil action for deprivation of rights. She represented herself. Every motion, every deposition, every cross-examination was an education to the public and a clinic to the students watching. And she won. $1.2 million in damages. But she didn't keep a cent. She established the Ellis Initiative, a legal fellowship for students of color who'd been wrongly profiled, arrested, or harassed. By the time she turned 23, Maya Ellis had published her first book, Presumed Dangerous: The Weaponization of Whiteness in Law Enforcement. It became required reading at over 60 law schools. including Harvard. One of Brantley's sons would eventually read it in his first semester. Maya never saw Brantley again, but she never had to, because the next time someone looked at a black girl in a library and assumed she didn't belong, there was a name they'd remember. Maya Ellis, in a voice they would never forget. Get your hands off my laptop. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to follow the next stories.